Hey everyone, this is Tony Reeves. I want to share with you some caring words to let you know when you go through a life crisis. When I was practicing, I used to tell my clients all the time who would be really frustrated with their circumstances, listen, your circumstance is not a part of your life plan. You didn't plan to be in the position that you're in right now. So let's talk about what we need to do moving forward. So I want to share with you a few things that you need to think about, because the reality is that life is going to throw you some curveballs. You may lose your job because the company is downsizing. You may get fired for something that's beyond your control. You may have a devastating traumatic injury that may occur to you, or you may have an illness that builds up over time that finally manifests itself. When you find yourself in this position, let me share with you some words that I've shared with clients back in the day when I used to practice. Don't bury your feelings. Process them so you can decide how to go forward. When you have a circumstance like a major life crisis, whether it be going through foreclosure, losing your job, a major health crisis, it is way too easy to internalize because you're trying to process everything. There's nothing wrong with processing it. Just don't bury it so much inside you where you feel like the only person who can deal with it is you. Now, don't get me wrong. When you're going through those things, it may feel like you're the only person going through it, so you've got to work it out on your own. And there's going to be plenty of things you need to do to work out on your own. But just don't bury it and not face it. Process it in a way that works best for you so that you can now take in consideration what your circumstances are now and decide what your next course of action is going to be. Don't endure this alone. The number of times I've had family members or friends who've gone through traumatic situations who have found themselves where they felt like as a result of these circumstances, they are on their own. I keep telling them, do not endure this by yourself. Do not put yourself in a position where you feel like no one needs to listen to what I'm going through, because clearly I got myself in this situation, and getting yourself into the situation could be your health caused the situation, your finances caused the situation, your job caused the situation. You feel like you're having to do that, so you feel like you need to endure it on your own. No, you don't. Do not endure this on your own. You have a support system. Reach out to it, take advantage of it, so that this way you can move through the process of figuring out what's going on. Third, make new dreams. No one ever plans to be in a car accident. No one ever plans to work someplace in the job, get downside, and they get fired or they get laid off. No one plans to get sick. That's not something you plan for. You don't say, I'm 20 years old. When I'm around 42, I plan to have a heart attack. That's not a plan. No one plans for that. So what happens is that when it presents itself, it will shake you to your core, because now you look at yourself through the lens of who you used to be as opposed to who you are now. Reality is, you're still the same spectacular you, but you need to now look at your circumstances and say, okay, we now have to refocus ourselves on a new set of dreams. Let's see what those dreams are. And then finally, as I just alluded, you are still the same spectacular you. I will tell you the number of times, and this is something that a friend of mine shared with me, and I didn't think about it until he said something. He said the one thing that he loved about me was that I never treated him differently after his illness. And I was like, why would I? And he said, that's why I love you. Because a lot of times what happens when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you're looking at yourself as, I am not the person I used to be. And then through the eye, at least in my eyes, I'm like, yeah, you are. Are you now dealing with things that are different? Absolutely. But look at it like this. You're not going to be 18 forever. If you're lucky enough to live 50 to 60 years, at 78, I'm fairly confident you're not going to be able to do what you did at 18. But you're still just as spectacular. A few things may be different. A little bit of arthritis here, memory starting to slip, vision and hearing may be starting to go. But guess what? You are still the same spectacular you. I just want you to understand this. Your life plan did not account for these things that happened in your life that caused change in your life. But that does not have to change you. I want you to realize you are just as spectacular as the day you walked in and let everybody know that you are the bomb. That hasn't changed because something has occurred to you in your life. If anything, it's challenging you to rediscover and create a bigger, better, and brighter version of you.